This special meeting was called for Monday, June 22nd, 2020 at 7:30 p.m. at Borough Hall located at 77 Summerhill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey, pursuant to the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-8B. This meeting will be held by means of the use of electronic communications equipment. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, no members of the public shall be permitted to physically attend the meeting. The public, however, is invited to attend the meeting electronically. This special meeting was advertised on the Spotswood website and in the Home News Tribune.
Councilman Ritchie?
Here.
Councilman Rivera?
I think he's muted.
I think he left. No, I think. Oh,
I see him
where
on
is
there. Yeah. He's actually listed as a participant. Yeah, he should be as a participant, yeah, but he's muted.
Is he good? Councilman
Jose,
Rivera?
can you unmute yourself?
He's
I come back to
unmuted.
him. Come back.
Okay. Councilman Malillo?
Here.
Councilman Spacuzzo?
Here.
Council President Kramer?
Here.
Mayor Sealy?
Here.
Councilman Rivera?
Here.
Okay.
Okay, proposed items for consideration by council for the regular meeting immediately following. So could we have the engineer's report?
Yes, good evening, everyone. So for the engineer's report, the NJDOT fiscal year 2020 local aid program, the borough received a $555,000 grant for the 2020 municipal aid program, and we forwarded the borough a proposal outlining that scope of work. PSE&G has resumed performing service upgrades on the gas main work. I met with a representative from PSE&G on Thursday, and I've also included a map with the report tonight outlining the streets that they're going to be working on. We drove all the streets in an attempt to determine which streets PSE&G would be doing full restoration on, which ones they would be doing half restoration on, and we also went over the roads that Spotswood is going to pave as part of the 2020 program. And the representative, Kelly Sutter, also mentioned that they are doing work on Adirondack Avenue, and I had brought up that we have a project that we're getting ready to send to the DOT right now that's going to pave Adirondack Avenue from Burlington down to Hudson. And she said that she is going to bring it to up to her supervisors to see if that gas main also needs to be replaced. She sent that email out to them last week. She had sent that email out to them last week, and we're just waiting to hear back from her. But if they do decide to do Adirondack Avenue in combination with the other streets that I have outlined in blue on the map, there's going to be approximately 9,400 square yards of paving that PSE&G would be able to do for the borough as part of the trade. Now, I know that the borough was talking with the county for paving Old Stage Road, but with the additional paving from Adirondack, the borough might be able to do that trade with PSE&G and go from Brunswick Avenue up to Summerhill Road, and that would leave the county with from Summerhill Road over towards, I believe, Karen Street. That's something that we're waiting to hear back from PSE&G to see if they are going to replace that. But that's something that the council should keep in mind. You know, I'm not sure how they want to proceed, if you guys want to still pick various streets, or if you want to try to do Old Stage Road and you know, just have the county do, like I said, from Summerhill over to Karen Street. I don't know if the council has any kind of comments on that.
Yeah, I have a question. Now, originally, we had already worked on a deal with East Brunswick to do some of that work and for us to do the other part of that work. So would that negate that?
I think the scope would change. I'm not sure what the specifics were in that agreement. But I definitely think the scope would change if we have PSE&G coming in to do that work now. And like I said, this is going to depend on if they end up doing Adirondack. That's something that she's asking her supervisors right now, and hopefully we'll have an answer from her next week sometime.
Okay.
But if not, if PSE&G doesn't do Adirondack, the streets that I have outlined in red represent the streets that they're currently working on. So that could be a potential for, doing the other half of any of those streets as well.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
I do, Larry. This is Charlie. My concern is delaying the project on Old Stage because we all know the condition of that road. So if we do decide to go with what you're suggesting, how far is this pushing us back to getting the work started and completed?
That I'm not sure. I know that they're not going to start paving until the end of July or August. I'm not sure if they can move that ahead. That's something that we can try to coordinate, or at least ask PSE&G to see, when they would be able to get to the paving for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions?
So just
in July,
to,
we only have one meeting,
What's that?
right? In July, we only have one meeting.
Yeah, that's it. July and August.
In August.
Okay, so again, might put us in delay and everything. Again, we should just continue the way we were doing, and then have PSE&G do the roads that, if they're gonna do Adirondack, we can have them do streets that they did have to and finish them up on the other half.
Okay.
And the old state road's in bad shape, very bad shape.
What was, Jose, I know I have it at home. I don't have it in my head right at the moment. We had already worked out a thing with East Brunswick. They were going to pay X amount of dollars, and we were going to pay the rest to do yeah, I'm having it. Old Stage Road from Karen to Summerhill, right? We had already worked on that.
Yep.
So if
That's part of
now
the
ours,
that, the capital that we're approving.
right, and so that was already done, and we could get that. We could do Old Stage and all of that faster, right?
Go on.
We could put that out for bid and get that fixed faster, right?
It's not going
Go
to
on.
forbid it. Going to the
Old Stage is being done by the county. They go out to bid for that project.
Okay, but the county's only paying a small portion of that. We're paying
The county's
more
not
than they
paying
are.
any of it. East Brunswick is paying for their half, and
All right,
Spotswood
East
is paying
Brunswick. I'm
for their
sorry.
half.
All right, so we're already working on that, so it doesn't make any sense to have. It would be probably more advantageous to the town to have PSE&G do the smaller side streets
Well,
that
actually,
they already did have.
there's no guarantee from the county that the work will get done this year. They're going to try their best, but they could not give us a 100% guarantee that it would be done this year. So you might be better off having PSE&G do it and working out with the county to have them do maybe other work or lessen the scope, or maybe only do Karen to Summerhill.
Okay.
We're looking at starting from Brunswick and up to Summerhill.
All right, so yeah, I guess that might be the way to go then, because it'll probably, if it, you know, we all know how the county is.
Mhm.
Yeah, but we
they're
can't,
not
this, sorry, Larry. This
Go
all
ahead.
hinges on if they're doing Adirondack Avenue, correct? Is that what's the
Correct.
comment? So
Correct.
we're having this discussion, but if they decide not to do Adirondack, then this discussion is really for nothing because we don't know what's
Yeah.
going on yet. So I think we need to know that information first before, you know, before we make a true decision on
Yeah.
what's happening here.
Yeah, and
And it's-
we would probably need to know by the July meeting.
Malay,
Yeah,
when
I
are you
think we
going to
should
know?
have an
When are you going to
answer
know that
from-
answer? Did you
We
say you
should
know
have an
that?
answer from PSE&G this week, but I just wanted to bring it to the council's attention that this
Okay.
is one of the options that could be a possibility now that wasn't before.
Okay.
Okay.
Council President, I'd suggest maybe we wait to see what that answer is, because I agree with Councilman Spacuzzo. It may be for naught if they're not going to do it, but if they're going to do it, then obviously, you know, there can be a discussion, you know, at the next council meeting on this.
Yeah, okay. I have a tendency to agree with you because we're kind of up in the air on both ends.
Drive on that street for Old Stage Road. It's in bad shape. Bad shape. You know which way to go anymore.
Hey, when is PSEG going to start paying you?
They said towards the end of July, August, they're going to start paving.
Okay, any more questions for the engineer?
I'm just going to just to finish up the report. So for the Cottage Street area improvements, the contractor's completed the storm sewer installation on Brookside Road and is working on Woodland Road, and he's also installing concrete curb on Brookside Road. For the improvements to Brunswick Avenue and the Karen Street drainage improvements, the contractor's completed installing the curbs, the water main relocation, and the storm sewer system. I called JCP&L today, and they said that they're going to schedule relocating the poles this week so that the contractor can complete the missing sections of sidewalk where the poles are currently in conflict. And then they come through and schedule the paving. And the Karen Street improvements are now complete. The improvements to Adirondack Avenue, the borough received a $542,200 grant from the DOT local aid program, and we're working on that project design. Larry, have you heard anything from the resident at 350 Adirondack Avenue?
Yes, actually, that resident signed the two easements that I prepared.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're done with that. I'm just waiting to get her to sign a voucher, and then we'll be able to record everything. And I think while you're bringing up that point, I know there was a question about the sidewalks on Brunswick Avenue. The only holdout homeowner property owner that has not responded is 110 Brunswick Avenue. And I think what I'm going to do, Council President, is maybe at the July meeting, I'm going to ask to put a resolution on for authorizing me to go ahead and institute condemnation proceedings and a declaration of taking so that we can finish up the project.
Okay.
All other residents have cooperated and have signed the easements, so that's the only one that's been a holdout.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, so then for the DeVoe Lake dredging, we're finalizing the project plans and we'll be working on the specifications for bid. We've also submitted the permits required for the New Jersey Fish and Wildlife and are submitting the Freehold Soil Conservation District certification application as well. And for the George Street Water Treatment Plant, well number 4 capacity increase, we're working with the project architect concerning various elements of the project, and we're waiting the results of the 24-hour test.
All right,
What's
anybody?
going on with Brunswick with them poles not being moved yet from JCP&L?
JCP&L said there was a couple of weeks ago, I think at the last meeting, they said that they were going to go out and relocate the poles, but they got delayed because of the storm events. And honestly, I think they just forgot about relocating them, because when I had called them about it, He said that, yes, they were supposed to go out there and do it. They're going to try to get out there this week and relocate those poles. Verizon also owns a couple of those poles, but they're going to turn them over to JCP&L so they can do all of the work. And so we don't have to have Verizon and JCP&L out there.
Okay. And when they're supposed to do paving on that area?
Once the poles get relocated, I believe the contractor's ready to come in and pave either they should be ready to pave next week, I believe. But I'll follow up with them on that tomorrow.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I do have one. Sorry. The 24-hour test for the treatment plant for the well. Do you have any idea
Yes.
when we'll be getting those results back? Because it's been a while since. Didn't we do that test right around last meeting? A couple weeks
Yes,
ago?
it was done at the last meeting. I believe it's the chemical test that we're waiting on getting back, but I'm not sure on that. I'll have to check with the wastewater department. But I'll get back to you on when we're going to get that result back. I'll check with them tomorrow and just send you an email, Charlie.
Okay, thank you.
You send that to everybody on council, please.
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
All right, anybody else? Okay. Ordinance on first reading, public hearing set for July 13th, 2020. Ordinance 2020-4, an ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 160, Sales, Special, Article 1, Garage Sales Section 160-1, Definitions Section 160-2, Regulations Section 160-3, and Notification of Borough Clerk, and Section 160-4 exemptions. Ordinance on first reading, public hearing set for July 13th, 2020. Ordinance 2020-5, an ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 91, Fees, Article 1, Schedule of Fees, Section 91-7, Municipal Fees, Garage Sale Permits and Recreation, and Arts and Crafts. Ordinance second reading, public hearing, Ordinance 2020-9, an ordinance amending and supplementing the salary ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood entitled An Amendment to the Ordinance Fixing and Establishing the Salaries and Wages of Certain Employees of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey. Ordinance second reading, public hearing, Bond Ordinance 2020-10. Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements and the acquisition of various capital equipment, appropriating $1,137,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $527,000 in bonds and notes to finance a portion of the costs thereof, authorized in and by the Borough of Spotswood in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey. Okay, the public, okay, so 2020-94, Mayor and Business Administrator recommend the adoption of a salary resolution to confirm the 2020 salaries of designated borough employees who are not covered by collective bargaining unit contract or employment contract. 2020-95, Borough Council authorizes the CFO to make such adjustments to the books and records in all funds for checking accounts, statement savings, passbook savings, and money market funds. 2020-96, Mayor and other appropriate officials are hereby authorized to enter into a cooperative pricing agreement with National IPA for a Canon copier for a 60-month time at $92 per month for a total contract of $5,520 for 60 months. 2020-97, Borough Council authorized Mayor Sealy to set the terms of consent to enable Cleary Jacoby Alfieri Jacobs LLC to serve as Labor Counsel for the extension of contract until July 31st, 2020, as RFPs have been solicited to be open on June 29th, 2020. 2020-98, Borough Council authorizes the Chief of Police to maintain proprietary software operation for 5 years of CAD and RMS systems for Infosystem Police Systems, Inc., in the amount of $13,095 annually, plus $8,300 for SaaS license for a total of $39,285, and 2020-99 payment of bills. Any discussion?
I have nothing, Larry. Thank you.
Ted?
I'm good, thank you.
Jose?
Nothing yet.
John Malillo?
Good, good.
Okay, so I guess we're going to open it to the public.
Make the motion open to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
I see a hand raised.
Good evening, guys.
Hello, Diane. How are you?
I've had better weeks. Let's just put it that way. Diane Charlesworth, 29 Old Stage Road. Let's talk about Old Stage Road, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the last several council meetings, when the discussion of pavement of Old Stage Road was happening, it was always from Brunswick Ave to Cleveland Ave. Now all of a sudden we're stopping at Karen? What? How? When did that happen?
Malay, can you answer that? Because
Yes, so it's going to go until the municipal boundary, which is just past Karen Street. After that, it's East Brunswick.
Oh,
So
it's
they
not
would-
East Brunswick until it's 3 houses past my house, or yeah, 3 houses past my house. My house is the first house past Karen Street. The next house is my sister-in-law's house. She
Right.
lives in Spotswood. The house after that is my former grandmother-in-law's house.
Right.
That house is in Spotswood. So why are we stopping at Karen Street?
We're not stopping at Karen Street. We would be going to that municipal boundary.
Okay.
Everything after that municipal boundary would be East Brunswick.
Okay, but in the report that you gave 5 minutes ago, you said you were going to stop at Karen Street. So what's up with that?
That was my mistake. I should have said that we're going to go to the municipal boundary to East Brunswick,
Which is Cleveland
past Karen
Ave.
Street. Correct.
Correct? Cleveland?
Yes.
Okay. So that's where the paving will stop, is at Cleveland Ave. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
thank you, Diane.
Okay.
No other hands up.
No
Council
other
President.
hands? Okay. Okay, then we'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
We'll
Second.
close the public for, close the
Make a
public.
motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then you can adjourn.
Okay,
Make
so
a
we'll
motion to
adjourn
adjourn.
this. Okay.
Second.
Just,
All in favor?
yes.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we'll go on to the next one. Give me a minute. Okay. Okay, the special meeting was called for Monday, June 22nd, 2020, at 7:30 PM at Borough Hall, located at 77 Summerhill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey. Pursuant to the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-8B, the meeting will be held by the means of the use of electronic communications equipment. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, no members of the public shall be permitted to physically attend the meeting. The public, however, is invited to attend the meeting electronically. This special meeting was advertised on the Spotswood website and in the Home News Tribune. We'll have a call to order and salute the flag and a moment of silence for all of those lost to COVID-19, and to all the first responders to stay safe, police, fire, EMS, all of them. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Ritchie,
Here.
Councilman Rivera,
Here.
Councilman Malillo,
Here.
Councilman Spacuzzo,
Here.
Council President Kramer,
Here.
Mayor Sealy.
Here.
Okay, we have a set of minutes from the caucus meeting of March 2nd, 2020. Someone make a motion to approve those minutes.
Make a motion, we move the minutes.
Second.
Councilman Ritchie,
Yes.
Councilman Rivera,
Yes.
Councilman Malillo,
Yes.
Councilman Spacuzzo,
Yes.
Council President Kramer.
Yes.
We have a set of regular minutes from the March 2nd council meeting 2020.
Make a motion to move the minutes on
Second.
second.
Councilman Ritchie,
Yes.
Councilman Rivera,
Yes.
Councilman Malillo, Councilman Spacuzzo,
Yes.
Council President Kramer.
Yes.
We have a set of budget workshop minutes from the March 4th, 2020.
Make a
Make a motion.
Is anybody going to second that?
Second it.
I'll second it.
Councilman Ritchie,
Yes.
Councilman Rivera,
Yes.
Councilman Malillo,
Yes.
Councilman Spacuzzo,
Yes.
Council President Kramer.
Yes.
Our last minutes is the budget workshop from March 10th, 2020.
Make a motion to move the minutes.
Okay.
I'll second it. I don't know if I got the motion, but
I heard
I think
John,
Councilman.
It's all right, we'll have a second.
Somebody made the motion, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Councilman Ritchie,
Yes.
Councilman Rivera,
Yes.
Councilman Malillo, Councilman Spacuzzo,
yes.
Council President Kramer.
Yes.
Okay, we have an ordinance on first reading, public hearing set for July 13th, 2020, ordinance 2020-4, an ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 160, Sales Special, Article 1, Garage Sales, Section 160-1, Definitions, Section 160-2, Regulations, Section 160-3, Notification of Borough Clerk, and Section 160-4, Exemptions.
Alyssa,
Make a
before
motion,
we, before anyone makes a motion on that, Councilman Kramer, did you want to amend the fee that's posted in this ordinance? I know it says $10.
Yeah, we discussed that before and we kind of settled on $7.50.
Okay. All right. So then what we'll do is I'm just going to amend paragraph or section 160-2D and indicate that it will be $7.50 per sale rather than $10.
Yeah, okay.
All right. The rest of the ordinance can be adopted, can be moved.
Will it be moved for first reading?
Move for a
So
first
if someone want to
reading.
make,
Yeah. We'll make that one change on paragraph, on section 160-2D. That's all.
okay. Does someone want to make a motion to pass it on first reading?
Make a motion to pass the ordinance on first reading is amended and published for the next meeting.
I'll second that.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo? Councilman Spacuzzo?
Yes.
Council President Kramer?
Yes.
Okay, we have another ordinance on first reading, ordinance 2020-5, public hearing set for July 13th, 2020. An ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 91, Fees, Article 1, Schedule of Fees, Section 91-7, Municipal Fees, Garage Sale Permits, and Recreation, Arts and Crafts.
And Councilman Kramer, I'd suggest we make the same change and just make that amendment from $10 to $7.50 on this ordinance as well.
Okay. Anybody
Make a motion.
object to that?
We should pass the ordinance.
We need a motion.
They were,
John just did.
Councilman Malillo made a motion, so.
Need a
To
second,
accept the ordinance.
as amended.
Second.
Ordinance 2005.
Okay, so
I'll
we're
second it,
gonna
Alyssa.
pass. Okay. Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Spacuzzo?
Yes.
Council President Kramer?
Yes.
Okay, we have another ordinance on second reading, public hearing set for June 22nd, 2020. It was posted in municipal building and advertised in the Home News Tribune on June 10th. Public hearing is set for today, June 22nd. An ordinance amending and supplementing the salary ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood entitled An Amendment to an Ordinance Fixing and Establishing the Salaries and Wages of Certain Employees of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey.
All right, 2009.
Oh,
Can I say something about that? So, it reads what it reads. So, where are we gonna go with this? Council President?
Well, this is the ordinance. This is the ordinance for
Yes.
people's salaries for the year.
All right,
It's part of the budget, so I would believe that we would vote on the ordinance to either pass it or,
yeah.
say no. But I believe it's already part of the budget. Am I correct, Larry?
Yes.
Okay, so
It's part of the budget, oh, yes.
well, first we're going to open it for public comment.
Okay, open it up, second it up,
Who's making the motion and who's seconding it?
second.
Well,
Okay,
John,
who
are you
made the
making the motion?
I make a motion, second it, get up on the mic.
All right. John made the motion. Can another council person please second it?
I will second it. It's Charlie.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we'll open it to public.
We have another ordinance.
Yeah, we have another ordinance. So
There's
should
one
we
more
read the other ordinance first and then open it?
Well, when you do the ordinance on second reading, you open it to the public for
Yeah,
public
we have to,
comment,
yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
close it, and then you
And then we
adopt.
vote on it. Yeah, then you'll vote on it. So open it up to the
Yeah.
public now. We need a motion to
Okay.
open up. Well, actually, I think you did that already, right? So now it's open
Yes.
to the.
Yeah, we already did
Open to
that.
the public. Okay.
So it's open to the public. There are no hands that are raised right now. So if you guys want to close, then we can go on to adopt.
Okay, so let's close it.
Make a motion to close it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 So now you can make a motion to adopt this
All
ordinance
right,
if you
so
want.
I make a motion to adopt this ordinance.
Council
Second.
President, if I could interrupt
Yes.
for a second? You
Sure.
have to acknowledge the amendment to the ordinance, the addition of the one line in red.
Okay, which, I see a lot of lines in red.
Clay? You mean 2010? What are you talking about?
The,
2020-09.
yes, the
2020,
administrative
09.
assistant, there was, and that was added to the ordinance.
Oh, okay, let me, hold on, give me a minute.
2009.
That's an amendment.
Let
So
me
you
look it
have
up.
to, you have to adopt it as amended, because it's an amendment from the first reading.
All right, just give me 1 minute. I'm getting there. A lot of paperwork here. That's garage sales. I'm getting there. It's, take this one here. That's the one? Yeah, okay. Now let me find it. I'm old. Oh, okay. It's in there somewhere. Because I'm not a very clerky kind of person.
Dawn, do you want to read it? You have it in front of you?
I can't. That's trying to find it.
No, I'm saying Dawn, maybe Dawn can just read it in.
He's got it. Here it is. Here it is.
Okay.
Coming up now.
Okay, so administrative assistant, we have to, and what is it we have to do?
You have to add this because you deleted it first reading, and now we're adding it back in.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank mind right now. So administrative assistant, 34,000 to 50,000 biweekly,
Yes.
and that has to be,
Now you have to take a vote. Somebody has to make a motion and then a second to adopt the ordinance with this amendment.
That's correct.
okay. So do I have somebody who will make a motion? All right, I'll make a motion that we adopt it
As amended.
as amended.
Second.
Second.
All right.
Councilman Ritchie,
Yes.
Councilman Rivera,
Yes.
Councilman Malillo,
Yes.
Councilman Spacuzzo,
Yes.
Council President Kramer.
Yes. And thank you for your help because I've never done that before.
Okay, we have one last ordinance on second reading, bond ordinance 2020-10. Ordinance 2020-10 was posted in the municipal building and advertised in the Home News Tribune on June 10, 2020. Public hearing is set for today, June 22nd, 2020. Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements and the acquisition of various capital equipment, appropriating $1,137,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $527,000 bonds and notes to finance a portion of the cost thereof, authorized in and by the Borough of Spotswood in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey. So we're
Make a
going to
motion
do the
open
same
to the
thing.
Make
public.
you gotta make a motion up for the public hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second, all right, second, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. All right, so I'm making a motion to close these to the public.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a
Thank
motion
you.
to make a motion to move this ordinance on second reading and post according to law.
Second.
Second.
Councilman Ritchie,
Yes.
Councilman Rivera,
Yes.
Councilman Malillo,
Yes.
Councilman Spacuzzo,
Yes.
Council President Kramer.
Yes.
Okay, Council President, council members, I'll take a motion to accept the resolutions on the consent agenda, resolutions 2020-94 through 2020-99.
I'll second it.
Well, we need a
Make a
motion
motion
first.
to,
Well,
Thank
make
you,
a motion to
Charlie.
accept resolutions 2020-94 through 2020-99.
Second.
Can we take out 97 and do it separately?
If you'd like, Councilman Rivera, we could do that,
Yep.
sure. All right, so Alyssa, let's do it again. So it would be 2020-94 through 96. and
95.
98.
Okay.
I'm sorry, no, 2020-94 through 96, and then 98 through 99. So Charlie, if you want to make the same motion,
Yep.
that's fine. Okay,
I will. I make the motion to move 2020-94 to 2020-96 and 2020-98, 2020-99.
Who wants to second it?
I'll second that.
Councilman Ritchie,
Yes, with the exception of bill number 20-00781, which I abstain on.
okay, that was a bill to you, right? Okay. All right, no problem.
okay. Councilman Malillo,
Yes.
Councilman Rivera,
Yes.
Councilman Spacuzzo,
Yes.
Council President Kramer.
Yes.
Make a motion to move resolutions 2020-97.
Make a motion to that, huh? Really?
Anyone going to second it?
I'll second it.
Yeah, I'll second it. Malillo seconds it. 3 pineapples and straight.
Councilman Ritchie,
Yes.
Councilman Malillo,
Yes.
Councilman Rivera,
No.
Councilman Spacuzzo,
Yes.
Council President Kramer.
Yes.
Yeah. 4.
Sorry. All right, would anybody like to have any kind of a discussion first about this?
I don't have any comments left. Thank you.
Okay.
Except I'd just like to wish all the fathers out there a happy late Father's Day.
All righty. Thank you. Anybody have any reports? I mean, there hasn't been anything going on lately, but maybe we see if anybody has any reports right now. If not, we need somebody make a motion to open it to the public.
I make a motion open to the public.
Second.
Okay. Aye.
Aye.
Two? Okay. I can't see them, so.
You're muted.
It says I'm muted. Huh? Oh, okay. All right, so who's the first one? Steven? Steve Ronco?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, it's Colleen Ronco, Manalapan Road, Spotswood. So I have a question. Is the town council aware of the fact that we've now received an additional lawsuit from 3 officers?
So Larry, would you like to answer that?
I actually am not aware of that, Colleen. I haven't received any notification of that. it's
Well,
possible,
it
yeah.
was, I went on to the e-courts today, and it's
Right.
docket number 003946-20, and it involves Officer Shapley, Officer Mayo, and Officer Fedak. And it is a law against discrimination case. So the tort claim that allegedly was filed back in November, I believe it was, is now an actual lawsuit. And it's against Dawn McDonald, Ed Seeley, and the Borough of Spotswood. So that's what, 6 lawsuits now that we have against the town? And 5 of them are by police officers, and one of them is, I believe, the ex-EMS director. I don't understand how nobody knows about this.
Well, I can probably, well, I can answer it for you. We don't know about it until there's actually service of the papers by the sheriff or by an attorney. And I think if the clerk had been served with any papers, they would have notified me along with the JIF, and I don't think that's happened yet. So it's possible we're going to get notification of it. When was the case filed? What was the date?
It was
on
filed on June 18th, 2020, so
Okay.
I guess
All
that's
right, yeah. So it generally, yeah,
and it looks like
generally,
it's filed electronically.
yeah, it was filed electronically, but until such time as service is effectuated, we're not aware of it. But I'm sure we
Okay.
will be in the next week or so. So I can't comment on it. I mean, certainly when I get it, I'll review it, and we'll send it out to the JIF. But I wasn't even aware of it. No.
Okay, so my next question then would be to the council members is, this is now 6 lawsuits against the mayor and against the BA. And we've now given the BA back her responsibilities from what I understand as well. So she's in charge of human resources again. And I mean, how many more lawsuits are we going to have between now and the end of the year? Because Mayor Seeley has given back the responsibilities of human resources to the BA. I don't understand how any of this is possible, and how none of these court claims that were filed, how we didn't take care of those issues before they became actual lawsuits. Because it's the same issues with each one of these individuals that are filing lawsuits. And from what I understand, there's 2 more lawsuits coming, which will bring us up to 8. I mean, when are we going to put the tourniquet on and stop the bleeding? I don't expect an answer to that, but that's, this is beyond. I mean, our tax dollars are going to go through the roof so that we can pay lawsuits on 2 individuals that more than likely aren't going to be here come January 1st. So I just thought the council should know that there's 3 more lawsuits coming. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Colleen.
Good evening, guys. It's Jackie Palmer, 9 Shupin Street.
Hi, Jackie.
I hope everybody's doing well. Forgive me, I'm in the car, so I just want, so if you have a problem hearing me, I apologize. So, a couple of questions. On the resolution that we just approved for the copier, the $5,500 copier.
Yeah.
What, Larry, is the reason that we decided to pay $5,500 over the next 5 years as opposed to just paying $5,500 up front? Is there a reason that we did it like that? I'm just curious.
I would probably refer that to either Dawn or the mayor. I only see it when I get the resolutions, so I don't know why.
Larry, I can answer that. The
Okay.
fee includes service, maintenance, and consumables.
So, Dawn, just to clarify, it's a service contract for 5 years, basically, as well as the equipment itself.
Right, and the consumables, the toner.
The toner, okay.
Mhm.
And do you have a breakout of that dollar amount of that $5,500? Like, what is over the 5 years? What is the service fee as opposed to what the equipment cost is?
I do not think I have that on me, but I can get it back to you if you email me tomorrow or give the office a call.
Sure. Thank you. My next question, Larry, maybe you can answer. So last meeting, y'all left us hanging with the HRO stuff being pulled off. I guess you pulled off the administrative assistant off the ordinance, and as well as the human resources. We put the administrative assistant back on for the ordinance this meeting, and we've removed the HRO, even any notification about the requirement of the HRO responsibilities for the domestic violence policy. So am I to assume that per Mrs. Ronco's comment about the business administrator being given the HR responsibilities back in her role, which she's been being paid for anyway, that human resources officer in response to the domestic violence policy is now the responsibility of the business administrator?
Yeah,
Well,
if you
go
want me
ahead,
to answer,
Larry.
I think we can make that assumption at this point, Jackie. Obviously, we didn't, the intent, and again, you're going back to when we initially put this on, which was my error, all right, in terms of the reason we needed a human resource officer. But if the business administrator is going to handle those duties, yes, she will be responsible for all of those duties.
Okay, so do we still have to, so there's not going to be a stipend associated with it. We just assign it to her. There's no resolution that has to be done. And my second question then is for council. What happened? He left us hanging, basically. So the decision was made. There was a closed session meeting on the agenda for last Wednesday. It was advertised. It was then canceled. So what happened?
I can answer that as well.
You know what, Mr. Sachs, in all appreciation, I love having conversations with you as the attorney, but
Okay.
these are questions that council should be able to answer and should answer. I know what your answers are.
No,
I want to hear from them.
That question can be answered by council as well.
Yes,
fine.
it can. It absolutely can.
That's fine.
It was talked, I guess, individually. We got together, one at a time and discussed it, and we made her an offer that she refused. So it was automatically sent back to Dawn, being that she was already being paid for it.
So what about the resolution that was on the agenda for her to be paid for the work that she did in Q4 last year, when Ms. McDonald was out on leave?
I believe that she'll be paid for, but going forward, she doesn't have the role anymore, and she was offered a certain amount for a raise. She was offered, to be paid for what she's done to this point.
So that was rolled into the raise that's put in the resolution where the 2020 salaries were, that her raise was put in there. So the work, yes, she was compensated for the work in 2019 in that raise?
Well, that I don't know. She discussed that part with the mayor. We gave the mayor what we felt was fair and equitable. And he offered it to her, and, the refusal negated some of that. Like, I don't remember offhand. It was I believe, I really can't discuss it because, she's not rice noticed. But
see, my understanding was she was rice noticed for the closed session meting, which
right,
obviously
said,
you each had your meetings individually.
She didn't. She wanted it to go public.
She wanted it to. She didn't want to discuss it in closed session, Jackie. That's all I was going to say. So at that point, there was no reason. There was no reason to have that meeting because it was a closed session meeting. So that's it.
That's correct.
That's all I was going to say. Okay.
Right. You're correct on that. So, but to your point, Larry Kramer, If she was rice noticed for that meeting and it needed to go to public, it would have rolled over to this meeting. So the discussions technically should have happened in public, that the 5 of you were having a discussion, right? You purposely put a meeting on the calendar to discuss it, yet you all had conversation outside of that. And Councilman Rivera said it last meeting that he wanted it on a closed session meeting, rice notice and all, so that the 5 of you could speak collectively the right way as a discussion. So instead, we went again the backdoor way and we talked to everybody individual and said, hey, I think we should offer her this amount of money. And oh yeah, I agree with that. Okay, check mark you. Okay, let me call the next one. Oh, I think we're gonna, that is so backdoor. That is so hokey when you put a meeting on the calendar and when she refused or decided that she didn't want it to go in a closed session, you already advertised that meeting, you could have made it public, you could have held that discussion on Wednesday. But instead, we have the hokey nonsense that goes on constantly where we can't make an actual decision and actually hear a discussion that's had. And it has to go. It's ridiculous. It's actually, and this meeting has been probably the most embarrassing meeting I've ever listened to. It's been a rough go ever since we've gone on Zoom, but I gotta be honest with you. Today, I'm actually embarrassed for all of you that this is such a mess today. So that's all I'm gonna say. You know what? We need to start holding people accountable and taking responsibility, the appropriate responsibility, not only for the finances that we have in this town, which obviously just, I mean, I'm tired of even asking questions about the bill list anymore because everybody just says, no, oh, yeah, we'll just pay it. Oh, nobody even knows. If you didn't even ask the questions of Dawn, we need to know, why wouldn't anybody ask what that contract was entitled to on a printer? We just say, oh, I'm going to pay $92 a month for the next 5 years. Sure, no problem. Sure, that sounds great. It's only $92. You know what? Everybody sitting there needs to start stepping up. Take some responsibility for the role that you've been put in. I'm really disappointed. I am like totally embarrassed about this meeting today.
Is there anything else?
I have nothing.
Thank you.
I'm going to bring up it's Diane Charlesworth, 29 Old Stage Road. I'm going to bring up a totally new topic that has been beaten to death, quite frankly, on all of the Facebook Spotswood forum pages. But people live in small towns for a reason. And one of those reasons is quality of life, okay? The fireworks that have been going on in this town for the last 2 weeks have totally destroyed the quality of life as far as I'm concerned. When I can sit in my office, in my home office, which faces Karen Street, even though I live on Old Stage Road, and it's 20 after 12 on a Saturday night, and they're shooting off M80s, that's bad. And you know what? Here's the problem with calling the police. By the time you call the police and the police get there, those punks have scattered. But they'll be back in 15 minutes as soon as the police are gone. So I understand that the graduates didn't get to celebrate, and the 4th of July is right around the corner. But this is a broken window issue. This is a quality of life issue that is over the top in my book. And not just my book, there's tons of other people in this town who feel the exact same way that I do. And instead of being beaten up by the bullies on these forum pages, why doesn't the council step up and light a fire under the police officers' butts to get them out circulating in the communities when this shit is when this stuff is going on? That's a question.
Well, I'm going to try and give you an answer, Diane. I actually don't hear it on my side of town, so
You're
I didn't
lucky,
know it was, I didn't know it was such an issue, but I will personally call the chief of police tomorrow and talk to him about it.
It's a huge issue, Larry. I'm serious. You know, I mean, and it's not, I mean, obviously I'm a little wacko because I have dogs and my dogs get crazed, okay? But there's people in this town who are autistic, who have issues with loud noises. There are people in this town who are veterans with PTSD who have issues with these loud noises. And all it, you know, we have a noise ordinance for 10 o'clock. That needs to be enforced because it's not being enforced right now. It's the wild, wild west on the streets right now in my neck of the woods. And in other necks of the woods too, because obviously other people are having the same issue.
Yeah, I've seen the posts on Facebook, not on Facebook, on Spotswood, and
Right.
We Are Spotswood and the other ones.
Yeah.
But, you know, as I said, I guess I'm lucky because on my side of town I haven't heard anything.
Where do you live, Larry? I'm moving to your neighborhood.
I live all the way just before the Schweitzer Molded.
We're practically neighbors.
Well, you're on Old Stage.
I know, but
I'm on the other end.
My property backs into that
He's
new
way up.
development that was built across from Schweitzer years ago.
Oh, so you're on the other side of. I'm thinking you're on the Old Stage side up by that little store.
No,
So you're on the other side of Old Stage.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
And
All
all right.
I could probably throw a ball and hit your house if I knew how to throw.
Well, like I said, I will call Chief Zarrow in the morning and see if we can do something about that.
I'd appreciate it because it's the little things that like set your teeth on edge, and people live in small towns for a reason. They like small town life, and these punks are out there and they don't give a flying flip. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Well, Diane, you have 7-Eleven has a tent over there that's selling fireworks.
I know, darling. I saw that the other
So,
day. I
again-
wanted to like vomit.
And again, you know, the state passed a law that now you can sell fireworks.
But there's a limit on to what fireworks can be sold. Anything
Right.
that flies in the air is illegal. So the only things that are really legal are those little doodads.
Sparklers.
Sparklers and the little red things that you fire off, and anything that goes in the air or shoots up is still illegal in New Jersey. And I don't, here's part of the problem, Jose, with that 7-Eleven. It's in East Brunswick. So they don't care two whits what they sell or to whom.
Yeah.
That's
They're
not
just
the
out
only
to
one
make some dough.
you got one on 18 too.
Yeah, it's
So you got these tents popping up with these fireworks stuff, and that's becoming a problem.
I know.
You also have the Chateau that turns around on Saturdays, on Fridays, Saturdays. They're blowing fireworks still on Sundays.
But the Chateau is doing theirs in conjunction with events that are being held at the facility. The people that are shooting off fireworks in Spotswood, believe me, it's a joyride for them. It's a thrill ride. They're getting their jollies, if you will. Okay.
Yeah, but you can't just turn around and say it's spots because they could be also East Brunswick.
When I can hear it, I'm on the outskirts of the town as far as geographically.
You're right at the border of East Brunswick.
I am.
So,
I am. My water comes from East Brunswick. So, but when I can hear them on Karen Street and on Janice, that's in my neck of the woods. That's Spotswood. So,
Diane, it's Ted. Can I say something?
What?
I live at the end of town, right by Monroe, by Erickson Avenue. It's the same problem down here. They're blowing them off in Monroe, left and right.
It's crazy.
You're right. It's a pain in the neck. It's a pain in the neck. Listen to them. I have two dogs that go into fits over it. I was listening to 101.5 today. It's not just us. It's all around the state. People
I
are having
know.
this issue
I know.
because they're selling these legally now. People have been cooped up for 3 months, and now they're getting out there and they're just going nuts.
I know. And you know what? I'm not saying that it's just us, okay? I listen to 101.5 too. You may even hear me call up on that station from time to time. Pay attention. But so I know it's a statewide issue, okay? It just, if we could get a little stronger handle on it within our own borders, I think it would make a big difference. That's all.
Thank you, Diane.
Thanks.
And like I said, I'll call Zarro tomorrow and see what we can do.
I appreciate that, Lay. Thanks so much.
No problem. Next. Who is it, Galaxy 9?
Yes, hello. It's Kathleen Malone here. How are you?
Okay, and you?
Okay. This is actually the first meeting I've attended because I would like to chime in, if I may, about the fireworks. I'm an essential worker. I come out in my backyard to try to diffuse after working with COVID residents in this very, very trying time, and I try to diffuse outside in my yard with nature, and I bring my dog out, and I like to just relax. And night after night after night, these fireworks are killing us. I can't relax. I used to love this town, and I know it's not just this town, but maybe if there's some restrictions, if we could come up with in this town, maybe just for weekends, something so that everyone can enjoy the town, not just the people who want to party all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Well, first, let me thank you for your dedication and taking care of people with COVID-19. And obviously, you're either a nurse or a doctor or somebody in the profession. So we really appreciate that. What area of town do you live in?
I live near Erickson as well. So same as
so you're near Diane.
Yeah, and it's really bad, really bad.
Councilman Kramer, if I can jump in for a second.
Sure, go ahead.
If you would like me to, maybe I can review the, I don't know if we even have a local ordinance dealing with fireworks, but I'll look to see if there is, but I'll also check the state statute on this issue, and maybe I can report back to council at the next meeting.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I would like that, Larry. I'm still going to talk to Chief Zarro and see if maybe we can get some. Maybe if there's a officer going through there a little more often, they'll knock some of that down.
Yeah, and now that you're right, and I think Jose is right. Now that it's legal, you used to have to drive over to Pennsylvania to buy your fireworks. Now you can get them here. It may be something that maybe we can pass a local ordinance regulating the shooting off of these fireworks. So I'll look into that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Is that it?
That's it. Do I touch the hand?
Okay. No, they'll take care of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Dulce. I don't have a hand, so I'm just jumping in.
Okay. Well, Steve Ronco was waiting before you.
Actually, I've had my little check mark up there for quite some time, but it's not a hand. So I just have one quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just curious as to why we are still having Zoom meetings when the state of emergency was canceled and the restrictions lifted allowed for indoor meetings big enough that we would be able to have a council meeting. And when can we go back to having like regular in-person council meetings? Because I miss you.
I miss you too. I would probably say, since your significant other Jose here is OEM director, as long as he lets, I guess, administration and the powers that be know that we can have a regular meeting, we can have a regular meeting. Right, Jose?
What was that?
He was conveniently lost. Your wife wants,
Anything I want.
I know. Your wife wants to know why we can't have a regular meeting again. She misses our smiling faces.
As of right now, the municipal building is closed to the public, as all as state buildings are too.
Okay.
Okay. So as of right now, we don't. Again, the mayor is going to be the one that's going to follow, if he's going to open up the public building.
But aren't we allowed to open the building now?
There's no restriction right now, as long as we have social distancing and you know, and no more than the 25% of the people in the building.
Yeah.
So what would the 25% restriction be? Is it 25%?
Capacity of that
No, that room.
room.
Yeah.
And what is the capacity of our courtroom?
That offhand, I do not remember what was the capacity on that.
Okay. So Dulce, maybe you'll get your wish by next meeting, but then that would be, you know, somebody else's decision, not mine.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And I miss you too. All right, so I guess our last one is Steve, right? Okay, so you can open that up.
Hi, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, it's Colleen again. So, first of all, I forgot to wish all you guys a happy Father's Day earlier when I was on.
Thank you.
But I also want
Thank you.
to address the fireworks issue because I'm on the other side of town. So I'm on Manalapan Road over by Immaculate Conception, a little bit past that. And the other night, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. Somebody shot off an M80, which completely woke me out of a sound sleep because my bedroom is facing the woods behind my house. So this goes on pretty regularly down here on this end of town. And it's, as Diane had said earlier, it has now become a joke on the Spotswood pages. And, you know, people, and yes, I have animals as well as everybody else does. And I have one dog in particular, my paralyzed dog, that is not real thrilled at all with the fireworks. However, with that being said, I'm more concerned with the individuals in town that have PTSD and the individuals that have autistic children. I have a niece who is autistic, and she has a syndrome where everything is amplified. So literally, she can hear things that nobody else can. So she can hear a plane from miles away before you would be able to hear it. She can hear a dog barking miles away before you would be able to hear it. So in cases where of a child like that, where you have this amplification of hearing, those
Is that
stop. That's my.
Is that your dog playing with the toy?
Yes, with their squeaky toy. Yes,
Okay.
right next to me. So with an amplification of something like that, it even becomes worse for these kids that have that type of a syndrome. And there are a lot of autistic kids that have this, and where loud sounds to them, especially a shock like that. Like I said, it woke me completely up out of bed. And it was funny because 5 minutes after that, I was on Facebook, and there were all of these people on Facebook making a joke about it. And it's what I want to say on top of all of that is that, yes, fireworks are now legal in the state of New Jersey, but not the ones that make noise. So if you go to any of those tents that are set up, you can't buy M80s there. You can't buy the fireworks that shoot up into the air and burst into colors. You can't buy those. Those are still completely illegal in the state of New Jersey. So all of those fireworks, all those loud booms that everybody's hearing are still illegal. They're not legal fireworks. So they're still shipping them in from out of state. Because you still can't sell those. I mean, take a ride to one of those tents and go look what they have. I mean, they have things that are just very simple, non-noise making type, type fireworks. They're certainly not selling quarter sticks of dynamite underneath tents in East Brunswick. It's completely not allowed. So, I mean, this side of town as well, it's every night, it's multiple times a night, it's way past 10 o'clock at night, and it really has become quite a problem on this side of town as well. So I just wanted to let Diane and those guys know that it's not just their side of town, it's also happening here. They're being shot off from Snow Hill, and they're being shot off from Manalapan, and they're being shot off from further down on Snow Hill. And it's like I said, it's every single solitary night. It's multiple times a night, and it's really gotten to the point now. My biggest concern right now, in all seriousness, is the woods behind my house. It is extremely dry outside, and they are literally shooting these things off in those woods. And it's only a matter of time before something catches fire, because it's so dry. My backyard is complete sand at this point. I can't even get the grass to grow because it's so dry. So I am concerned about that as well.
So behind your house, Colleen, I know the railroad track runs through there.
Right.
Are you about the same length?
My house backs up, so there's my house, the railroad tracks, and then there's a stretch of woods. And then the houses that are on the side of Snow Hill Street, that are on the left side of Snow Hill Street, you can see through the woods. Well, not so much now because the leaves are on the trees, but you can see those houses. So it's my backyard, the railroad tracks, there's a little stream, and then there's a whole big area of woods that Conrail cleared out not too long ago when they put up the new telephone poles. And then there's the houses on Snow Hill. So what they're doing is they're walking down the tracks, and they're walking down the tracks into that big open area now, because it is a big open field, and they're shooting them off from there. So it is, it's a problem.
I know exactly where you're at. Okay, I'll talk to the chief about that also.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to back up what Diane was saying, that it just wasn't on that part of town. So thanks again, guys, and happy Father's Day.
No problem. Thank you. You have a good night.
You too.
Okay, so next is.
You got
Hello. Hello.
Eileen, you're waiting for me, Eileen?
Yes.
Eileen Chella, 12 Janice Drive. I'm listening to everybody complain about the fireworks, and I have to admit, I'm one of the people. I have a little grandson. He really likes to watch the little fountains and things like that, the smoke bombs. I live off Old Stage Road, and let me tell you, the noise I get from Old Stage Road is nothing in comparison to the fireworks. And this is not just for the 4th of July. This is tractor trailers. This is tractor trailers with trailers, dump trucks with trailers attached to them, FedEx trucks, big, little, small, all day long on Old Stage Road, over 4 tons, all through the night. So when you talk about an M80 being shot off in the woods behind your house, try sleeping with your bedroom on the Old Stage Road side of your house and listening to these trucks all night long, or try to watch television and your house is shaking. And this is 365 days a year. I mean, I've already spoke to the chief, and I know he's on working with East Brunswick, trying to get this taken care of, but I don't see much of a change. As a matter of fact, tonight I'm sitting out in my backyard, and a tractor trailer went down Janice Drive for the 4th time this month, because we're letting tractor trailers come down Old Stage Road, and they're told make the first right, and that's Janice Drive instead of going into ShopRite, or make the first right down Summer Hill Road, and you'll turn onto Old Stage Road. But now I'm having tractor trailers down a residential street. They go down, they turn around, and they come back out. So fireworks, I'll take the fireworks. You take the trucks.
Now, you said tractor trailers turned on Janice Drive?
Yes, I'm keeping track of the tractor trailers that have come down Janice Drive. In the last month, there have been 4. And I'm not talking June, I'm talking 30 days.
Okay.
They turned down Janice Drive, go all the way down. I don't know how the heck they turn around, but they turn around and they come back up about 8 minutes later.
And most of these times that's ShopRite, right?
No, they're unmarked trucks, really. They're just tractor
Unmarked.
trailers with a phone number on the side. When I spoke to the chief, he told me if I could get a name or a picture. They're going too fast on Old Stage Road for me to even get a name or a picture. I mean, they're flying. They're going fast. I've seen them on the back bumper of cars going down Old Stage Road. And my house is about 80 feet from Old Stage Road, so I'm waiting to have a visitor in my house someday called a tractor trailer or a dump truck. Because
So now, what's the corner of your street?
Old Stage Road,
Old Stage and what?
Janice.
And Janice, okay. All right, so I'm looking at it on the map now.
It's Old Stage Road is a 4-ton limit. And all day long, there are trucks over 4 tons, box trucks, delivery trucks, tractor trailers, dump trucks.
Yeah, because I sat on the corner of Bosco, or maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, Bosco or Bosco, and Summerhill one day because I read a complaint, and I sat there for about 2 hours, and all I saw was one guy go by in I wouldn't call it a dump truck, even though it was a little dump truck.
Probably a landscaping
with a trailer.
dump truck.
Yeah, with a trailer, and that's the only person I saw. The whole 2 hours, I sat there and had breakfast and drank a cup of coffee.
Oh,
and,
no, breakfast is the wrong time to be there. You need to be there between like 2 and 4 when they're finished for the day.
4 p.m.
Going back and forth, or 2 in the morning when the empty trucks are heading back. I mean, in the morning, no, they're not on the road because they don't want to be on the road with people commuting. So
Right, they can't.
They don't hit the road until after everybody's at work.
Okay.
But
All right.
yeah, just today, I had a huge, not a little landscaper dump truck. We're talking one of these huge dump trucks that you see at a construction site. So I can put dirt in his bed. I could see it over my fence, and he was pulling a tractor trailer with 2 other pieces of heavy duty equipment on the trailer. And I'm guessing he was over 4 tons. And this is not a single occurrence, but the only way for me to catch them is to sit out there with a video camera because they go way too fast and I can't get any phone numbers or company names. I've gotten a couple. One of them is Solterra, by the way.
Yeah.
I can set my watch by Solterra. And I don't want to hear that they're picking up garbage every day on Old Stage Road. Because that's got to be impossible. I know East Brunswick and Spotswood don't have that kind of trash pickup. But you can only set your watch by the Solterra truck.
That's their county.
Sometimes 2 or 3 of them in a row.
Yeah. That's a president of the county. All right. I will sit down with the chief and see what we can do about it. If we have to get somebody out there and maybe keep an eye on it between 2 and 4, and we have officers on duty at 2 a.m., so maybe somebody can get out there and hang out.
You know, I'm giving you ballpark figures. You can't set your clock.
No, I understand.
But you know, a lot of times I'm sleeping, and the next thing I know, I'm not. And why? Because my house is shaking. You know, is it an earthquake or is it a tractor trailer? Probably a tractor trailer. We've only had 1 earthquake in Spotswood that I was here for. But no, I appreciate it. And I just want to say, fireworks, they don't bother me. The trucks, they're dangerous. They're dangerous to the whole community that lives on Old Stage Road.
Well, now you know why Old Stage Road is in such a bad shape.
And when we pave it, those trucks are going to think it's a freeway. They're going to be really booking down that road because there's no light from Palmetto Boulevard all the way down Summerhill, and then there's no light again until Main Street. So they are just going to take. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
Same to you. Okay, I guess we got Galaxy 9 again, and then it looks like we got a green check mark there. Oh, okay.
Just one more quick point.
Sure.
Actually, a question. I wanted to ask, I don't know how much the council or who could get involved with the Spotswood sites. There's a lot, if we ask nicely, there's been many, many people asking nicely. If they, the fireworks could be limited to weekends, to, before 10, stuff like that. And we get viciously attacked. We're told we're old, move, get a new dog. They mock us, then they put things on the next day. Where can I get the best fireworks? Ha ha. I mean, it's vicious.
I don't know what we can do, but I can tell you I will check into it and see if there's, I don't know, we're going to look into an ordinance against it, because I don't believe there's an ordinance at this time. I don't know. Fireworks in New Jersey are still relatively new.
Right.
But
just the bullying is astonishing, and you just can't speak, and it's very sad.
Yeah, and the worst part is there's you can't fix stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know any other way to say it.
Yep.
I don't understand why people have to be like that.
Right, with
it doesn't
medical
make any
issues.
sense.
PTSD,
Well,
dementia,
sure.
infants. There's no compassion. It's let's party. Doesn't bother. I like to party. Too bad for you.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. My next door neighbor's son is autistic. I've known the kid since he was very young, and I'm kind of glad that he's not around for this.
Right.
It's terrible. I don't use fireworks. I don't approve of fireworks. They're dangerous.
Yes.
I've had friends that have blown fingers off. So I think it's ridiculous that they're even legal in New Jersey.
Yes.
But
the bullying is also, I don't know where the town stands in that, but I've just never seen such bullying. Never.
Yeah, I look at the Facebook page. I look at the Spotswood pages, and yeah, it's ridiculous. People should grow up and act like adults, not like little kids.
Exactly. You could talk about anything civilly. I had to block like 8 people just for saying, your opinion, and nicely. Never am I rude.
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't know what we can do, about a Facebook page. I think Facebook should be notified, and they should, we are Spotswood. I see things get deleted all the time because, the administrative people didn't think it was supposed to be on there. So why would you allow people to bully people? So,
Yeah, good point. Thank you for listening.
Oh, no problem. We'll look into it.
Thank you.
All righty. You have a good night.
You too.
All right, bye. No one else's hands raised? Okay, somebody want to make a motion to close the public portion?
Hey, Larry.
Yeah.
Larry.
Which Larry?
Kramer.
Yes.
Just like that, okay, the municipal building, public work director is working on getting some stuff done before they go open up the building itself. So
okay,
once they get done whatever the stuff that they need to do to protect the workers and everything, then they'll make the determination when they're going to open that up. The mayor was going to make that determination.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not, working. I don't have the privilege to get to the county meetings that you're always on the phone with. So I don't know what all of the restrictions that are being lifted are. So, yeah, I know. All right, we got another question.
Diane, 29 Old Stage Road. In that ordinance that you asked earlier tonight about improvements and stuff, was the hot paving machine part of that?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Yes,
You
yes.
made me a very happy girl, Larry Kramer. Good job.
Well, thanks, ma'am.
Thanks.
Yeah. All righty.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. So, all right. Yeah, Jose, like I said, you know, I don't get to those county meetings that you do, so I didn't know what the restrictions that were being lifted are. So whenever they tell us to open it up, we'll open it up.
Well, I don't see no reason why we can't have a regular meeting next month, next meeting.
Well, that's what I said.
I don't see why not.
Okay. Then once I guess the mayor gives us approval, we'll have them. If it's between now and then, that's 4 weeks away. No, 3. I don't remember.
3
but
weeks.
Anyway, 3 weeks. Thank you. So we might be able to have a meeting. Well, I guess we'll know hopefully quickly.
I got another question for Dawn. Dawn, you still on?
Yes, I am.
This tree fund. Okay. Who's in charge of that?
The CFO is in charge of all the treasury accounts, and the tree fund, I believe, has nothing in it. Nobody has put anything in there so far.
All right. Now, who's going out and getting some of these places that are doing construction, knocking these trees down? And nobody's going out there to, you know, find them or to, you know, tell them, look, you got to replace it or it's going to cost you.
I believe that tree fund was put in the land use section, and it's meant for like applications that go before the planning and zoning board.
Yeah, that's correct. And Councilman Rivera, that is the way it works. So if an applicant gets an approval from a zoning board or a planning board for development.
Okay, well, I do have a problem then, because you had a property that got subdivided between Summerhill and L&L, and all of a sudden, 4 trees were taken down, and nobody said nothing about that.
Yeah, well, they've got to submit a, you know, generally the way it works is you've got to submit a tree removal plan as part of your application. And what happens is TME actually determines, you know, what the penalty is that you got to pay into the tree fund, you know, for trees that are taken down. You know, so, you know, I'm sure there are illegal tree removals that, you know, the town doesn't know about, but if it's an approved development, you know, there has to be a tree removal plan associated with it, you know, if it's going to be involved taking down trees.
All right, then I'm going to ask for to see that copy of that, because apparently nobody went over there and said anything to them about the tree.
Well, you'd have to see what the resolution
Full-size
says from
trees.
yeah, if it was approved by the planning board or the zoning board, you'd have to see what the resolution says, and you'd have to see what the plan, you know, whether there was any reference to any tree removal on the plans.
I don't recall any recent applications before the board for anything between Summerhill and L&L. So that may predate the tree ordinance.
Negative, because I was on the planning board when we did the tree fund, and this house got sold, I want to say got sold last year in the winter time, and they subdivided the property.
Okay.
So
Perhaps
okay.
it was before planning board while I was on leave, but I can certainly check into that for you.
yeah, this is just one area. I can name a couple of other areas too. Again, and this is where we did a ordinance for tree funds, and nobody's checking into that.
Hey, it's like Mr. Sachs said, it's only for land use applications, and that compliance lies with the borough engineer's office. The applicant has an escrow account. that is for that.
Yeah, Jose, if you've got any specifics, you may want to speak to Bruce about it as well.
Oh, I will. I
Yeah,
will.
yeah. Yeah, he could probably give you some more insight on it.
But I can tell you this property was not, this property was one, and then it got subdivided, and all these full-grown trees were taken down.
Right.
Well, if you remember, Jose, that's one of the reasons why that guy that wants to build those 22 homes over on the Schweitzer Molded property hasn't been able to do that yet because he doesn't want to pay the tree fund or what he's supposed to pay in the tree fund.
Right, right.
He believes it's less than it should be, or I mean, it's too much, and I mean, that's an issue that has been going on for a while.
It's fine,
All
Larry,
right.
but the problem is that this property should have been taken care of already. There should have been already some funds in that tree fund already.
All right, so Dawn is going to check that for you, and we'll see what happens. All right, I make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night,
Have a
everyone.
couple weeks, everyone.
Okay, good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.